Well. After Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender broke me and Madam Web made me drink bleach, I thought all hope was lost. Needless to say, the content I've been viewing as of late has been less than stellar. However, I'm here to bring the good news, deliver the gospel, as some would say, like the Jesus of film-related content. Kidding. But guys, girls, anyone watching, this show is it. And as the kids would say, this show has the sauce. Shogun, the new Hulu/FX series, has finally aired its first 2 episodes. And let me just say, you heard it here first, but this show is the next big thing. Okay, I'm not the first and only person to sing the praises of this show, and I won't be the last. But 5 to 6 years down the line, when this show is swimming in Emmy nominations and wins, I'll be able to look back on this video and say, I called it. This show is, in my opinion, the next Game of Thrones. Ever since Game of Thrones has ended, and well, not in the best fashion, there has been a hole, a void left in the ethos of TV for a series like this. I know, Mr. Former film student, what about House of the Dragon? Look, I love House of the Dragon. I was a huge fan of Season 1, I can't wait for Season 2. It's a very well shot, well produced, well written, and well acted show across the board. Big hot D fan over here. However, there was something very distinct about Game of Thrones. Not only did it have all of the elements I listed about its prequel series House of the Dragon, but it satisfied a very specific itch. See, what separates Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon is the sense of scope and scale. See, as much as I love House of the Dragon, a big reason why Game of Thrones was so special is that there was a vast amount of characters, locations, and storylines. House of the Dragon is, especially in comparison, a much smaller and isolated show, focusing on the familial dynamic of the Targaryen dynasty. Which brings us back to the show in question. Shogun taps into the same level of magnitude and scale that is very reminiscent of Game of Thrones, especially in its glory days, those prime season 1 to 4 days, where not only did you have excellent direction, writing, and production quality, but you had a show that felt larger than life. Shogun feels large and epic and vast. It feels like you're watching a high-budget feature-length film, and that's not only because of the way the show looks or feels, sure that has a lot to do with it, as FX clearly has sunk a good amount of money into it, and the passion both in front of the camera and behind it is very easily identifiable. But a big part of the reason that the show feels so grand is the way it's able to quickly introduce you to a huge amount of characters, and not only that, but clearly define and establish their storylines, motives, and relationships to one another. The character dynamics are firmly established, which is super impressive considering how many characters there are. The way it's able to weave in and out of these different characters' lives is really well handled, and again really does take me back to the early days of Game of Thrones, when the sword fights and battles and dragons weren't what held your attention, but instead just extremely well written dialogue that captivates you and keeps you invested. I know this is a lot of praise for a series that has only dropped its first 2 episodes, but not since Succession have I watched a pilot for a show that's been able to impress me to this degree. As evidenced by my recent videos, I can be kind of harsh at times, and it's never out of malice or ill intent, but instead because when I see a series that feels so mature and respectful of its audience, not in a pompous or pretentious way, but out of sincerity. And I don't mean mature in its display of violence or subject matter, but instead its approach to things like political intrigue and character dynamics. When I see shows like that, it frustrates me when other series don't do the same thing. Not in terms of what it's portraying, but how it respects us as audience members. Every character is not only well acted by their respective actor or actresses, but in the way in which they're written, the little mannerisms they showcase, the way they use facial expressions. It all blends together to such a strong degree that you're mesmerized, not just by the gorgeous production design or stellar cinematography, but by the genuine and interesting character moments. The series is off to such a powerful and strong start with both its visuals and storytelling that I cannot wait to watch where it goes from here. If my points on how it handles character and storytelling don't sell you on this show, for the sheer quality in its production design, whether that be the gorgeous sets or stunning costume design, or the fluid and striking camera movements, It's one of those shows where any given shot could be used as the background photo for a laptop or phone. For those reasons alone, I cannot recommend this show enough. Seriously, guys and gals, do yourself a favor and watch Shogun. This is going to be one of those shows that continues to get better and better. This is your chance to get in early and not wait until the show is in its 3rd or 4th season and being hailed as must-see generational television. You can be one of the lucky folks who get to say, yeah, I've been there since the start. Well, either way, guys, let me know in the comments if you've seen Shogun. What are your thoughts? Am I exaggerating, underselling? Let me know in the comments down below. I love interacting with you guys, and for those of you returning, thanks for the love and support on our way to 2,000 subs. That's it for today's video. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe if you want to hear more from me, click the little bell notification button so you get notified when I post new content, and hey, if you like my content and are a fan of horror films, check out my horror movie podcast, Scared Speechless. I do with my good friend Aaron. Link in the description. New episodes every Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even here on YouTube. Oh, and follow this channel's TikTok account, Former Film Student. Well, that's really it, guys. I'll see you on the next video.